Of these games, he will feel a touch unlucky about that. Mind you, had he played, then England may not have unearthed Marcus Trescothick, who's been the batting success of the tournament. Mark Elam in from the pavilion end. Through the gap on the offside. So Graham hit patrolling the boundary, saves 4.
Could be interesting to see if Mark Elam lives up to form. We have always noted, Paul, that his first over is his most expensive. 8 runs in the first over the last time we saw him. 2 runs off the first ball.
Where he is.
Single brings Will Hines back on strike. This will be his 21st delivery faced. Still on 0.
Keep him on strike. Bowl as much as you can to him. 3 overs and 2 balls. Still not off the mark.
Again.
Just 3 runs from this Mark Elam over so far.
Yes.
He's away, and the West Indies get to 50 off the last ball of the 16th over. 50 for 1. Overs bowled, 50 for 1 the West Indies after being put in this morning. David Lloyd and David Gower with you now.
Thanks, Paul. Yeah, the rate has slowed somewhat. Early signs were that this was going to be a rattling good pitch and a rattling big total, but from the wicket falling there, you can see that the rate has slowed markedly. Overall, West Indies scoring at just over 3 and over now.
You just split the first 15 overs into 3 sections, 1 to 5, 6 to 10, 11 to 15. England had a superb spell, 11 to 15, when only 6 runs were scored. That's with the fielding restrictions too. First 5 overs went for 19, and the second 5 for 21, and the third 5 for 6.
Yes, and sadly for Paul Franks, the key moment there really was Paul Franks being taken out of the attack. England's debutant today, 4 overs, number 21. That included 3 no balls. Never easy.
Yeah.
Briscoe, not quite sure what's happened there, but he's got a run. Just highlights actually how well England have bowled, I think, David, in the tournament so far. The recent matches they've played in, their bowlers have been so tight, so accurate, that they've reaped the rewards for their efforts and for their quality. Even though Paul Franks is a man touted by many to be a future England bowling star, in form, certainly before this competition, he found it very tough there this morning.
He was given the new ball. Seems keen enough out there now. He'll certainly be enjoying the whole day. Could have had a wicket here. Ball's up in the air. Tantalising between 3 of them. If only.
Yes, would have made a big difference to him. Edged away. It was certainly a streak of luck in that one. 4 runs. Again, Alam Alali this time. Very, very close to striking.
If only again. It slipped this time. Gale throws the bat at it. Vacant slip area. Ball races away for 4. Last ball of the over. In fact, it was Wavell Hines. Just reflect Alan Mullally as he gets back to his fielding position. England opting not to have a slip, which is probably understandable.
That's Chris Gale over the top of Nasser Hussain. Paul Franks doing the fielding, surrounding it down there at third man, single-handedly. Nick Knight is the substitute fielder. Darren Gough is the man who's gone off. Just a few months ago, Nick Knight was established, it seemed, at the top of the order for England in the one-day leg of the tour of South Africa and Zimbabwe. That's well timed by Wavell Hines. That's comfortably his best shot of the day. He's really struggled this morning. That boundary off the thin edge at the end of the last over might just give him the feeling that the luck is going his way or turning his way now. But that was a fine shot.
It's a tight line from Mark Elam, but he lets the ball come right into him. Punches the ball through mid-wicket. Times it well. Lets the ball come right in.
Unusual for Wavell Hines to be so restrained. He's just not found his form yet this morning, really. 10 runs from 30 balls. A couple of boundaries always make a difference to a batsman's confidence. He's a man who, from what I've seen so far on this tour, normally comes in with runs in mind, looks to get those boundaries away early. A natural stroke maker. Yet it took him 22 balls this morning to break the 0. Got him this time. That's a good catch by Nasser Hussain. He's run out of luck in a hurry. Nasser Hussain perfectly placed there, just behind square on the offside. And Mark Elam has his revenge. Wavell Hines on his way.
Elam picks up his first wicket. Hussain in that business area of backward point. Wavell Hines out of touch. Really flares at the ball. Safe hands, Nasser Hussain. England have taken the second wicket. Hines is the victim. One for Hussain, one for Elam. Batsman cross on the way. Wavell Hines on his way back to the pavilion for 10. 10 from 32. 63 for 2.
Introducing the amazing...
All these tickets sold out well in advance of this match here at Trent Bridge. In fact, there's a waiting list of about some 2,000, just in case there's an epidemic or something. A mass exodus. Jimmy Adams takes his place out in the middle. The wicket came off the last ball of Mark Elam's over, so he's not on strike yet. It'll be Chris Gale again facing Alan Mullally. Jimmy Adams' one-day average 29.29, well below that of his batting in Test cricket.
Very good. Right, wide.
This is the end of Wavell Hines. Just slaps at the ball. Hussain at backward point. Outside edge.
Chris Gale continues on his merry way. Draws a very good stop from Marcus Trescothick.
Powerful shot. It's a quick outfield here at Trent Bridge. Good boundary work by Trescothick. Well, Ali's full of confidence. I spoke to him before the game this morning. Really pleased with the way he's come back after that ribcage injury. Admitted that it had been a problem to him. Very consistent for England. The impressive thing is the economy rate. 3.73 in 40 matches is excellent. 51 wickets.
Up, Crumpy. Hey.
Yeah, Mullally's figures in this tournament all make good reading, really. The most expensive day for him, 9 overs, none for 37 at Edgbaston the other day against Zimbabwe. 1 for 33, 2 for 13 off 8 against Zimbabwe. That was a good day for everyone, of course. 3 for 27 against West Indies at Chester Street. This is a string of consistent and very good performances from Alan Mullally. Jimmy Adams looking for that run to get him off the mark. Might have struggled.
I'm sure he would have. Hussain is more than useful there, backward point. Keen to get off the mark, Adams.
that's a lot easier. Plenty of space down to long leg, much more comfortable single.
Over. Right, mate.
67 for 2.
Mullally, 6 overs, none for 18. Just mentioned this morning when I spoke to him, he was really confident, and he talked about his move to Hampshire and how valuable Shane Warne was, stood at slip and talking about the tactics of the game and ball maidens, and he held his hand up and he said that in the past, he said, when I've played for England, this is Mullally speaking, I didn't bowl straight enough, I bowled wide, I hid the ball, direction wasn't there, I've just modified things a little bit and I feel a much better bowler. He identified that he's now making the batsman play much more. Also offered that he thought that England had a good bevy of quick bowlers, probably 7 or 8 who could do the job, and the competition is good.
Yeah. Oh. Fred.
Jimmy Adams just flexing his left knee. There was a grunt of displeasure there as he took that single. This proves that that first one he tried to take it in the last over might have been a bit, well, very much over-ambitious. He's had trouble with that knee throughout this tour. Something else for him to think about. He's not been in form in this series. The highest score so far is just 10. He was run out for 10 at Canterbury against Zimbabwe. He's 2 not out at Bristol, didn't bat at Lord's. Rain ruined that game. 0 against England at Chester Street, Bowl Mullally. Hasn't been a happy tournament for him in any sense. Interesting though, David, to pick up your point about Alan Mullally talking to Shane Warne and respecting what Shane Warne says. That is one of the benefits of having a good overseas pro who's prepared to spend time with his new colleagues, talking about the game, discussing things from a different angle. But at the same time, I'll bet you any money that all Alan Mullally's former coaches have mentioned the same thing.
You certainly have, and you'd work with the player and identify the good points and the things that you need to work on. I don't call them bad points, these are areas that you need to work on. He would identify that, but I was pleased that this morning he spoke about it. He just came and said, look, I might have had a problem and not bowling straight enough, but I'm bowling straight now. I thought that was really interesting from him.
Couple here for Chris Gale. It's something, I know we've talked about it on commentary, more especially when we looked at him bowling a test match cricket, to be honest, where, as you say, he's hid the ball at times away from the batsman, bowled slightly wide of the stumps, they don't need to play at it. Bowled his maidens that way rather than by bowling his maidens straight on a length, and giving yourself, again the batsman, committed to playing a ball.
Catch.
Straight to short extra cover. The simplest of catches for Craig White. A second wicket for Mark Elam, who again has shown the virtues of bowling straight and accurately. The pressure tells.
It's a good position too, drive man on the offside for a batsman who stands tall, perhaps a little bit firm-footed, or with a straight front leg. Easy as you like. It's just pouched by Craig White. Short mid-off, silly mid-off, extra cover. Chris Gale's played pretty well, but he's on his way back now. West Indies 70 for 3.
Three down for 70. West Indies throwing away the benefits of a good quick start. Coming in now at number 5, Ramnaresh Sarwan from Guyana, playing his first one-day international. He's played a couple of test matches against Pakistan earlier in the year and made 84 not out on debut at Bridgetown. Been kept in the wings on this tour. Many people have talked in really glowing terms about the qualities of his batsmanship and his potential. He's 20 years old now, but he's been playing first-class cricket in the Caribbean since he was 15. And once again, the wicket falling off the last ball. Craig White starts his first over of the day in the Radcliffe Road end, taking over from Alan Mullally. So Sarwan still waiting to face his first ball, replacing Chris Gale. Couldn't have picked him out better, could he? Just maybe not leaning into it. Maybe the ball didn't quite come on as he hoped. Once again hitting on the up, but he'd done that very effectively through his innings beforehand. As a batsman, he's probably gone off thinking, man, I've just mistimed it. That's all it is, just a gentle mistiming. You get it wide of the field, you get away with it straight at the man, you wander back. 37 he made.
The coach in time, probably half an hour, 20 minutes, just a comforting hand on the shoulder. Bend your front leg. He didn't bend his front leg, he was very stiff, meant he was reaching for the ball. And the building work going on.
Well, he's not alone in using that method to make his mark at the crease. England trying to apply some pressure on the man making his one-day international debut. They've brought a slip in, short extra cover in, so two men in catching positions, even though it's now the 21st over. And no harm in that. Good idea, I think. The bowls, just that little bit of induct again to Sarwan, but he's got his leg outside the line. I say I like the idea of putting pressure on a new man at the crease, whether he's a man playing his first one international or whether he's been around for a while.
In swing from Craig White. Pressure is there from England, and it's from Hussain. Very vocal out there, as he will be, captain of the side. He's very sharp with his comments to his fielders.
Well, it's swinging for Craig White, which is making life slightly tough for Sarwan.
Decent pace too, and I think that's why it is swinging. I think that's reverse swing. Starts to swing late at a decent pace, 84 miles an hour this delivery. Set up to swing in.
Bat on ball for the first time for Ramnaresh Sarwan. Not out after his first three balls in one-day international cricket.
Well, I can't wait to see him play. One of the best judges in my book of a player is Ted Dexter. He's written glowingly about Sarwan. He even left the game early at Lord's, took his leave and begged his pardon and said, I'm going back to watch the TV and watch Sarwan bat. I think Ted has been a wonderful judge of a cricketer. And this is the first time that I've seen Sarwan, but as you say, he's got rave reports and kept in the wings, hasn't he? As a young player on this tour, gets an opportunity because Brian Lara is not playing today.
Yeah, I think that's right. Ted, in his column in the newspaper, was prophesying that Sarwan would average 60 in Test cricket, which is a very bold statement to make, considering that the likes of Brian Lara and Sachin Tendulkar don't quite reach that level either, and they're averaging mid-50s. Mark Elam continues on his way. He's so reliable, isn't he? He's Just worked out what he does. Gets the ball to move around now and again, but basically relies on being deadly accurate. Just an inch away from the outside edge.
Elam's got 7 inside the circle, 7 fielders, all putting pressure on the batsman. West Indies looking to get a partnership together. Adams is on 3, Sarwan is on none, so you can see the pressure exerted by Hussain there, and it's fielders inside the circle. You can bet that opposition talk long and hard about where to score off Elam.
Well, it's cleverly played. That was a good stop from Mullally. Yeah, this is absolutely right from Hussain, because he knows full well that Adams hasn't been in form in the series. The situation with the man who was striking the ball well, i.e. Chris Gale, now out, means that Adams and so on need just to regroup a bit here. So keep the pressure on. You want to give any singles away. You don't need to. Wouldn't expect any big shots being played at the moment. If there's a way through with a controlled, timed drive, that's fine. There's going to have to be a well-placed one because of the number of men in those single positions. Towards the end of the over, i.e. now with 1 ball left, then this is traditional tactics. The men go back sweeping at cover and deep square leg, just in case that boundary shot comes up and you've ruined what otherwise is a very, very tight over.
Get out of it!
Philip, captain does set a good example. He's quick over the ground, quick to get the ball back into the air. Wasn't his best throw. It was a mite clumsy, but he's quick to get there, quick to get the ball back. Single saved.
Smart work, Hussain. Just releases the ball very, very quickly. He's on the ground, gets rid. Good pressure again. I think he's becoming a really good captain, Hussain. No nonsense on the field. His players know who's in charge. That's the West Indies Manhattan. A couple of wickets very quickly together will slow the rate.
White has been absolutely spot on. 1 run coming off his first over. He's bowled well at Sarwan. This ball slanting back in again. Craig White doesn't need to do anything different, does he? He might fancy getting someone out by just trying to slide one away from the right hand. Everything so far has come back into him. But one-day cricket, if you build that pressure, let the batsman do the worrying about where he's going to get the runs first. Change of pace. It's an inside edge which gets Sarwan off the mark. He'll get 3 for it. Very quick outfield here at Trent Bridge. Grass crop short, conditions perfect, sun's out, it's all dry, bone dry in stark comparison to what we've seen here early in the year. Fingers rolled across the top of the ball, slowing the pace, and it's just giving someone the chance to nudge it away.
I think he's deceived him too, Craig White there. Sarwan gets 3 for it.
Great bowling. Craig White has bowled more quickly than people have expected in this tournament, and he's got that ball to move. Brilliant bowling.
In particular to left-handers. Just look where Jimmy Adams is at the bottom of that bat. Consistently bowls round the wicket to left-handed batsman White, and it's no accident, it's not a fluke But time and again, he makes the ball hold. From an angle around the wicket, it holds its line and just offers back towards the slips. And he sets it that way.
Fine bowling, 2 overs from Craig White. They've cost him 4. It's 76 for 3.
Good advert for your socks. Wave touch, centre. I don't love that.
.76 for 3 after 23 overs. Mark Elam continuing at the pavilion end. Changing the commentary box though, where it's now Davy Houghton with Ian Botham.
Thanks, David.
The West Indies appear to be having difficulties coming to terms with this 50-over game. They really have been very disappointing, I think is the word, in this one-day competition. The bowlers, I think in particular, have bowled with no real discipline, both sides of the wicket, different lengths, almost impossible for the captain to set a field. And by far the poorest side.
Yes! I think so, Clyde.
Yeah, I think both teams, or both the other teams in this competition, Zimbabwe and the West Indies, have struggled to come to terms in particular with England's bowling. I think the England bowling has been fantastic throughout. They really seem to know what they're doing. They bowl to a plan, the field is set to that plan. It's very difficult to unravel it.
Yeah.
Someone getting that
Come on out!
pick up 3 here as well. I'm sure the England teammates were over-impressed with that piece of fielding. I don't think he is, anyway.
Now, pal. 3 there.
Yeah, running to his weaker side. Really could have done with 2 hands. It is a long way down. Big tall man, isn't it? Al-Malali. Alex Stewart expecting a bigger standard in the field.
Out, pal!
This is one of the things they've got to do, is look to the future, the West Indies, and this young man here, Naresh Sarwan, just 20 years old, highly rated in the Caribbean. I know, talking to Viv Richards, that he feels that he's got enormous potential, and he's a pretty good judge.
That's right, we saw a bit of Sarwan when we were in the West Indies earlier this year.
Bold, Ely, good, Ely.
Hundreds against Zimbabwe in both of the 4-day first-class games. Really did look the part.
Particular strengths, Davey?
He played all round the wicket, yeah, but the big thing was they were 4-day games, and you'd expect a sort of more pedestrian pace at the wicket. He played well, played his shots. As you say, he's only 20 years old. I think it's really just about exposure now.
Get hold of it! Well done, Nash.
4 runs from that Mark Elam over. So, approaching the halfway stage, 1 more over to go. 24 now completed. Mark Elam, he's picked up a couple of wickets, 5 overs, 2 wickets for 20 runs. And as always, the economy rate is there or thereabouts. As you say, Davey, I think that's been the most impressive thing in this one-day competition, is the discipline with which the England bowlers have bowled with, and that's why you pick up wickets like this, by tying down the opposition. In the end, there's a bit of desperation there. It's Wave or Hines, the first one, and then again, Chris Gale, frustration. And that's because they don't get anything to hit.
Well, it's a well worked out plan, really. I mean, you've got Goff up front bowling really well. Caddick throughout the tournaments bowled well. Paul Franks on his debut today didn't do a bad job either. But the pressure builds up. There's normally a wicket or two goes as well. He's been outstanding throughout this tournament. Another good start today. And then, of course, once the pressure has built up, on comes Alan Mullally and Mark Elam, and they bowl straight. They give you nothing to hit. Mark Elam in particular, wicket to wicket, keeper stood up, difficult to use your feet at him, and the pressure just mounts and mounts, and eventually something snaps. And then, of course, Craig White just comes and puts icing on the cake. Comes in, a little run, bowls a good pace, reverse swings the ball, and particularly effective against the left-handers coming round the wicket and swinging the ball away from the bat.
It wouldn't surprise me to see him playing at Old Trafford in the Test, because that's one ground where the ball does get scuffed up because it's quite abrasive. It's good running, tight, but good running. Mark Elam's the man coming in. Now, how close is this?
Yeah, well, I think in his favour, as he hits it, he sets off. He's had to go quickly. It was a good piece of fielding. Might have been touch and go with a direct hit. No, the diver's seen him home safely.
Now that's enthusiasm.
That's what you get with youth.
I think we can both just about remember those days. Jimmy Adams, it's a little personal milestone. He's got 1,999 runs now to his name. And this is 117th game. He can get to that 2,000. Nice score of only 82, which is a little surprising for me, but probably batting down the order doesn't help. Not renowned for his quick scoring, so more of a girdler, nudger. So you often wonder whether someone like Jimmy Adams would be better off at the top of the order and looking to play a foundation innings.
Yeah, it depends what sort of brand of cricket they're going to play. The Sri Lankans introduced this exciting brand of one-day batting, and were prepared to lose wickets early on and dash in the first 15 overs. And they then preferred to have a sort of opening batsman in Mahanama coming in at 6 or 7, just in case they lost more than they bargained for. But I think in this West Indian batting lineup, they'd be well placed to maybe think about opening with Jimmy Adams.
Well, he's got plenty to think about. It's not working or going to plan at the moment for the West Indies. Halfway stage. 82 for 3. Now, this wicket to me looks a lot better than that, Davey. I think that's well under par.
It is, again, merit due to the England bowling attack. They've bowled once again very, very professionally, very well.
Good fielding, terrific fielding. Not only was the fielding good, but the speed that Nasser Hussain got the ball back to his keeper.
Well, that's the other thing. So your bowlers are getting everything in the right area, and your fielding backing it up has been brilliant. And none more so than the captain himself. I think the situation West Indies are in now, Wavell Hines taking 22 balls to get off the mark and batting in the mid-30 balls just for 10. That's where the pressure is really mounted.
Well, the thing is that if you take that length of time to get off the mark, you've got to go on, not just give it away.
Yep, that is the problem. You can always catch it up a little later in the innings if you stay and bat through, but if you're going to take that long to get going and then get out, it's a double problem.
He actually just had to look at it. Wavell Hines, though, 32 deliveries for his 10, and then chipped in the air. not what the team needed.
That's right. Well, Chris Gale, 71 balls for 37, so his strike rate around 50% as well. And on a wicket like this, you would expect to score somewhere in the region of 240, 250. I think you need a slightly bigger scoring rate than that at the beginning of the innings.
Half a shout. Quite fetching with the protective stuff on his lips there. Shirt. Half a shout there, pretty optimistic though. There hasn't been much use for block out this summer, but it's nice to see it being used. Very sensible as well.
Run him out.
Oh, just the single from that over. Good banter going on between the England fielders. Aaron Goff had the nicky taken out of him by the Alec Stewart, I think, and his captain. And well, they haven't got much to mind about, so well, pick on each other for a while then. A bit of fun.
Oh, that's the attitude of the England side at the moment. They're winning the games they're playing in quite comfortably, and yet they're still arguing about the odd single here and there. That's a good sign. And, Darren Goff, slap on the wrist.
Tight. And I'll tell you what, I think the throw might have hurt. Now, if this rolls all the way to the boundary, which it's not going to, the umpires would have to signal the boundary, but I think young Sarwan there's the most painful thing that happened there was Alan Mullally's throw hitting him, and as always, it misses all the padding. Doesn't matter where you've got padding, it'll always miss it.
That's right, there's always a spot. But he's taking on the mid-off and mid-on fielders. I think a direct might have seen him off, but he's got that on the inside leg, probably just above the knee. It's pretty painful.
Yeah, I think he'd have struggled. If it had been a direct hit, he'd have been on his way, but that's in the fleshy part, isn't it? The physio is just going to come up and give it the magic spray, I should think. In fact, they usually do more damage when they come. They say, grab it and go, oh, does that hurt? And you're squealing like a pig. Yeah, of course it does. That's why I've called you here. It's always the great one, isn't it, when you get the smack on the finger and you think you've probably cracked it or whatever, and the physio comes and he grabs it, and they inevitably usually get hold of it, don't they? And they say, let me have a look at this, and they go, does that hurt? And of course it does. That's why I've just called you. A bowler at 95 miles an hour just hit me on it. They're great physios. Always have the last laugh, the physio.
The best piece of advice I got from the physio, I got hit on the foot with a Yorker in New Zealand, and our physio came running out, and all he said to me was, don't take your shoe off. He said, I've been watching this on TV and you've had a nasty blow. Keep your shoe on, otherwise you're not going to get it back on.
And you're not coming off. There's that little milestone then for Jimmy Adams. That's his 2000th run. Taken a lot of games actually for one of the batsmen we were talking about earlier. Maybe not many opportunities.
Jimmy Adams, to me, is a real good professional cricketer. Leads from the front. It's a difficult time in this one-day series here, and I think you'll find Jimmy batting his way through this. It's a nice little milestone to reach.
suppose, of course, if Ramnesh Sarwan actually scores a good chalks a few up here, a little 60 or 70, that's surely got to put him into the reckoning for the Test match, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think it would. So, listening to Mikey Holding talking earlier about the feeling in the West Indian camp at the moment, they feel they played 2 good Test matches earlier. And that piece of fielding.
Boys, top draw.
Graham Thorpe, the man on this occasion. Good diving, one-handed stop. Got the fingers caught in the grass a bit. Don't think it would have made much difference. West Indies now 85 for 3.
Show your speed.
27 overs gone then.
Played long enough to know where.
At a certain moment, the honours are going England's way. All credit to the bowlers, because this does look a good wicket.
Yeah. Go on then, over the top.
Well, I've been saying how professional this England outfit have been in the field in the last few games. A couple of overs ago, this epitomises it. Mark Elam had bowled 5 dot balls looking for the maiden. Darren Gough was at mid-on and a sharp single taken to him. And the captain had a few words with him. But, they're well on top on this game, but captain not pleased that a single was given away.
Good Ely.
Goffey, being the true Yorkshireman, good spirit, takes it well. He's had a slap on the hands. That won't happen again.
I think there might be a little sarcasm there, actually. That's good that the team can have a bit of banter like that. It doesn't do any harm.
That's it, Trace.
Well, we were talking about the West Indian batting for Test matches. 60 balls since the last boundary. Just listening to Mikey talk, they're quite happy with the way they've played the Test cricket so far this summer, and they're not going to let this one-day series influence their thinking on the Tests. Obviously, it's nice to have a youngster like this get some runs, get into nick, put a bit of pressure on the senior batsman. But still firmly of the belief that they're well in the Test series.
I'm sure they are, and I think it's going to be a very good series, but I think psychologically it's got to dent your confidence. It's got to have some adverse effect. I'm sorry, you can't play as badly as they have without it getting to someone's skin, isn't it? It's got to annoy you somewhere along the line.
That's right. The other thing about it is that you get onto winning roles and losing roles, and even though it's a different brand of cricket, one-day cricket versus the longer 5-day version, they've got on a losing role. And even when they had a match-winning score in Chesley Street, they managed to lose it. Zimbabwe winning in that spectacular run chase. That's an edge, and that'll go for 4. Very difficult to get Mark Elam away. It's probably the one area you can get 4 runs. No slip in place, fine edge. Batting side always appreciates that. And of course, the best you can hope for from the bowlers, a little bit of a moral victory.
Well, that's the first boundary for quite a while. Now, there's, apart from the British Open that's going on at St Andrews, there's also the US Women's Open, and that's from the Merit Club in Libertyville, Chicago, Illinois. That's tonight at 7 p.m. on Sky Sports 2, and as I said, that's from the Merit Club in Libertyville, Chicago, Illinois. Exclusively live on Sky Sports 2.
Well, little partnership developing. 21 runs. This two batters are put on together. As I was saying, still managing to keep 5 in the circle, though, trying to keep as much pressure as he can on them. There are the partnerships. Cameron Gale, 34. They set off in good style. Campbell unlucky to have the ball roll back and knock one bail off. And then Hines and Gale, 29 runs, but off 66 balls.
Misfield. And Coach Stewart very quick to say, well, we should have had that. He's right.
I wouldn't be surprised if Craig White was actually trying to get the nick off the hand run out at the bowler's end. I don't think he deliberately tried to stop the ball. I think he tried to get a tip off onto the stumps.
It might be, it's a slower ball. Oh, I don't know. It's a bit sloppy. Drilled to the deep square cover. It's a pretty good over though, apart from that sloppy bit of fielding which cost him 3. Craig White 5 off the over. Well, there's only 21 overs to go, and West Indies really do need to find some urgency out there.
Tips. Ow! Good sweep.
That's right, the current scoring rate, they'll only get 160 odd. They saw down in Chesley Street, they got 169, but was nowhere near enough. Lost that one by 10 wickets. They're going to need to try and get somewhere up around the 200 mark. And that means they're going to have to get busy quite soon. And as we say that, as I was saying, it's turned to off spin of Graham Hick, effective as it was the other night.
All right. 45, mate.
Well, if she wants to take a few orders, then you're welcome to step up to the commentary box, and I'm sure lime and lemonade will go down well. Hot day here.
I think she's probably selling raffle tickets. I'll buy a couple. Little loosener from Graham Hick down the leg side, just tucked away. Jimmy Adams for the single. Graham Hick bowled in the
away from
in the game against Zimbabwe at Edgbaston. Picked up 2 vital wickets.
Good, Al. Brilliant, Al.
Well, summer's here. Everyone enjoying the sunshine, and a little liquid refreshment doesn't go amiss. Here he is. In a better place. I'm just wondering if there's any bat on that. So it was runs. There's a bottom edge on that. Well called, Davey.
It was headed off down leg anyway. Sarwan just getting some edge on it. Taking it away for 3. I suppose the best result there for Graham Hick is he doesn't have to bowl an extra ball.
He looks a little stiff, Graham Hick. He's, one of the problems he does have, he bowls too much, he does get a bit of stiffness in the lower back. Well, shouldn't be that bad, he's only a step in victory, isn't he?
Well, he did bowl 7 overs this month. Most of them at Edgbaston 2 nights ago.
Nicely played.